In 1996, formerly alive, former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger published a recipe for Moo Goo Gai Pan
Moo Goo Gai Pan
in Frank Sinatra's Celebrity Cookbook. In this video today, we're going to follow this recipe, make his chicken, and tell you our opinion of it. But before we get into it all, I guess we should probably address the elephant in the room here. Because in spite of being widely beloved and respected by America's ruling class, Kissinger has also been criticized by some for his really quite integral role in an impressive number of war crimes. But this video is not the place to litigate those concerns, because we here are big believers in separating art from artist. For example, no matter what you happen to think of the Iraq War, the hubris of the invasion, the hundreds of thousands of deaths, the subsequent destabilization of the Middle East, what I hope that we can all agree on at least is that these paintings are really quite bad. Now, this is a Chinese cooking channel. My personal politics are really pretty deranged and definitely outside of the scope here. But what we can do at least is cook up this Moo Goo Gai Pan.
Moo Goo Gai Pan.
Now, first, looking at this thing, I guess I do have to level with you that at first glance, this isn't that crazy of a recipe. There's definitely a little weirdness, we'll get to it, but frankly, I've seen way worse out there. He starts off with 4 chicken breasts cut against the grain, strong start, which actually did prove a little difficult on my end because for some reason here in Yunnan, the breast at the market is just massive. Like, I swear this is from a fucking ostrich or something. So I looked up the average American chicken breast, 175 grams, so we went with 700 total. It's definitely a lot for a stir fry, but it does jive with everything else. He's obviously trying for a really big portion. He then marinates that with starch, salt, a lot of salt, ginger, and dry sherry. Presumably that's a Shaoxing substitute, so forgive me for just using Shaoxing. These marinade quantities are a little out of whack in my opinion. It's kind of one note, but I think that would be a pretty small nitpick. But then we get to the thing that immediately struck my brain as a little odd. In this recipe, he calls for canned mushrooms, but fresh bamboo shoots. But like, the other way around would make way more sense, right? Like, I'm pretty sure America has fresh mushrooms the last I checked. But that can, though, ended up being a pretty interesting rabbit hole. And they're actually synonymous with a lot of old school Chinese American dishes. This can we got online, it's from Fujian, and it's made specifically for export. I mean, the shop has got all the American classics. Now, the idea of a canned mushroom is a little odd in a Cantonese in Guangdong context, but oceans have definitely done weirder things. And that's because the name Moo Goo Gai Pan in Cantonese means chicken sheets and mushrooms. But in the context of a dish, the name Moo Goo would often refer to a specific type of high-quality button mushroom grown in Jiangjiakou. American buttons are mass-produced and really pretty flavorless by contrast. I mean, blame the Italians of Kennett Square, I guess. And especially historically, this can probably was the better option. So, okay, all right. But this shop also has canned bamboo shoot. And I've totally seen people in the West use canned bamboo shoot, and it's an ingredient that definitely cans a lot better than mushroom does. So what gives? Now, Henry Kissinger was a New York guy, and as far as I can tell, even in the 90s, fresh bamboo shoot was something that was seasonally available in New York's very good Chinatown, like it is today. So, okay. But the important thing to keep in mind, though, when calling for fresh bamboo shoot is to be specific about it. Because there's fresh bamboo shoot and there's fresh bamboo shoot. Sometimes in Cantonese markets, you find the ingredient prepared, pre-boiled, and that would be the case for this kind of package too. But sometimes you can find the actual shoot, and humans are not pandas, because this will cause food poisoning if it's not prepared. So to do so, first cut open the shoot lengthwise and peel off all the peelable brown layers. Once the shell is off, you'll see these sort of little light brown nails at the bottom, and shave those off too until it's completely white. And similarly, shave off the light hairy brown bits at the top. Finally, cut off the tough bottom where you can see the fiber. In the end, you're basically looking for the white heart inside of the shoot, and then you can thinly slice it into sheets. But at that point, it's still not done. The thing really, really needs to be cooked. Add it to boiling water, and for sheets, Boil it good and hard for a good 6 minutes. Then remove and drain. So, all right. We'll get started with the stir fry in a second, but I think now is as good a time as any to levy my second big critique. Where exactly is the seasoning here? Like, okay, this thing's got a whole hefty tablespoon of salt, sure. But for this stir fry to be delicious, you're going to need something. Pepper, sugar, MSG, soy sauce, wine, stock, chicken powder, anything, even
chili jam. It's brilliant for cooking.
Still, to be fair at least, this stir fry does do something that a lot of the Jamie Olivers of the world have neglected to do. And that is, if you have ambitions for a big, massive portion, and your goal is to solely stir fry it all, not pre-blanch, not pass it through oil, you're going to need a fuck ton of frying oil, way more than you think you need, and that's where Kissinger gets it right. Second, he first fries walnuts in said oil to flavor the oil first, which is an objectively good idea by any measure. He's also going in batches, frying the vegetables in with his metric shit ton of salt, timing slightly overdone, but it's nothing crazy. Did it with the chicken, it's slightly overdone, but around the margin of error, and then everything goes back in, mixed together. And again, it's mixed with no other different seasonings. Like, for Christ's sakes, man, just give me some white pepper. And out. And then that is Henry Kissinger's Moo Goo Gai Pan. So, looking at this, I think what we can fairly say today is that Henry Kissinger, despite his many flaws, also had flaws as a cook. Like a lot of his work, this recipe really shines if you don't think about it too much, while also having zero concern for the health or well-being of who it's being inflicted upon. But that's just my opinion. Let's give it to a proper Cantonese.
All right, so how actually is this? Let's give it a try. Chicken, I guess, because it is gai pan. So obviously it needs other seasoning. It's really salty, and then kind of one note. The taste is just salty. It needs sugar, MSG, probably also some white pepper to finish. But other than that, better than CIA's version. If you don't know what it is, check out our CIA's mapo tofu video.
And so, I don't know. I mean, I guess looking at this dish, to be honest, I can't help but feel a little sad. Like, after all these years, this is the Moo Goo Gai Pan that we've finally shared with you guys on this channel. Because, like, I grew up in white bread suburbia. I grew up adoring takeout style Chinese. So often here on this channel, we kind of get a kick out of showing you authentically Chinese versions, or often Cantonese versions, of those menu items. And like growing up, I loved Moo Goo Gai Pan, probably honestly half because I just really liked saying the name.
Moo Goo Gai Pan!
Either way, it was my gateway mushroom dish. So we've been wanting to cover it for a while, but honestly, we just haven't really been able to find an exact match in Guangdong. But like, if you'll indulge me, maybe, if Henry Kissinger can publish his Moo Goo Gai Pan, maybe I can also try to publish my own too. Now, I should say up front here that I kind of went for a hardcore banquet style. I just kind of enjoy going all out. Like, if it wasn't for you guys and Steph, this channel would probably look a lot like a Chinese food Bruno.
Elle est là.
If you're in the market for that takeout style, though, I would really recommend this video from The Art of Cooking. About a decade ago, Raymond over there just kind of dropped authentically American versions of like 70% of the takeout menu, refused to elaborate further, and honestly, this platform hasn't improved on them since. But for us today, we're going to be starting off with an entire chicken.
Love it.
This was 2.8 kilos of the nicest local chicken we could find, broken down into the carcass, the wings, the thighs, and the breast. The breast, we'll set it aside, and we'll make a stock out of the rest. So to a pot or wok, toss in the chicken together with a half kilo of pork loin, spritz of Shaoxing wine, and water to cover. Bring it up to a boil and pour out that liquid, adding in new water together with 2 inches of smashed ginger and 50 grams of cured ham. Bring it up to a boil, skim, and let that go over a heavy simmer. 90 minutes in, remove the thighs from the stock and save those for another use, shredding them for something like Ye People pounded chicken like we shared a couple weeks back. Then just continue to let that go for another 4 hours in all. And after that time, strain, and similarly shred the remainder for another use, reserving that stock, and for us, we let it sit overnight. And that's because the stock will likely have this obvious layer of fat. So what we'll do is not obsessively skim off most of it and mix it in with the fat of the chicken, adding it to a pot together with a half cup of water and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Get that up to a boil until it bubbles away. Then lower the flame to medium-low and render out the schmaltz. We'll be using this for our cooking oil, but just like Kissinger, we'll also first fry 20 walnuts in said oil until they're just beginning to brown. I mean, good ideas are good ideas. Then, removing the schmaltz, pour some water into your wok together with a half teaspoon of salt and get it up to a boil. Boil 60 grams of snow peas and carrot for 45 seconds. Remove and 175 grams of bamboo shoot for the requisite 6 minutes, setting that all aside. Then, for the mushrooms, the Cantonese Moo Goo and Gu, they are really definitely quite tasty. But right now we live in Yunnan and not Guangdong, and so just like you, we can't exactly get them. So instead, I'm going to be using a local in-season mushroom. Here in Yunnan in the summer, there's a lot of different mushrooms, but right now in late March, what we get are morels.
Love it.
So we'll soak 18 in salt water and slice those in half right before we stir fry. But back to the chicken breast. We'll thinly slice this, 400 grams worth, against the grain. Marinate it with the usual suspects, together with an egg white, and coat it well with oil. Then we'll pass that through oil, getting the oil up to about 170 C, tossing them in, jiggling to separate it, and frying it till it's cooked through. Drain, then in a clean wok, we'll add in 2 tablespoons of our walnut-flavored schmaltz and fry a bit of minced garlic and ginger in it over low. Then, swap the flame to high, and once it's hot, swirl a tablespoon of liaojiu, aka Shaoxing wine, over your spatula and around the sides of the wok. Morels in, quick mix, and once they're just beginning to release their liquid, we'll add in some seasoned stock. This was a cup and a half of our stock, in with 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon powder, sugar, and fish sauce, plus a 1/4 teaspoon each salt and MSG, nuked to soften it and then mixed well. Then get all that up to a rapid boil. Add in the chicken and the blanched bamboo shoots, mix, then swap the flame to medium-low and thicken it with a slurry. Once it's thickened to your liking, add in all the other ingredients, mix it well, and finish with another tablespoon of your walnut schmaltz. Optionally serve it over some deep-fried noodles, recipe of which is down in the description if you want, sprinkling the walnuts over the top. And with that, this is my version of Moo Goo Gai Pan, what I would personally try to serve Frank Sinatra and friends. So Henry Kissinger, he actually has a reasonably solid reputation in China. He helped normalize relations. Also, in his later years, he kind of turned into a comparative panda hugger, at least compared to all the hawks in Washington. So, people are definitely complicated, but doesn't make up for Laos or Cambodia or Bangladesh. To cut the intro to this video, you have to scrub through old footage of Vietnam, Iraq, and I guess I would recommend everybody try to remember, because just spending that time really dwelling in and marinating in that human tragedy, all because of these people's hubris. To a fault, I am the kind of person that is always attracted to the good in everybody, no matter how slim. But it's not cute. Fuck these guys. And subscribe for more Chinese cooking videos.